All information is gathered through bulbapedia.com. Check them out, link is in the description. Hey everyone, it's DKGM, welcome back to the Pokedex. In the last episode, we did Pokemon 91 through 120, and in this episode, we're going to be basically finishing Generation 1 with Pokemon 121 through 150, starting with Starmie and ending with Mewtwo. And I'm sorry for the week delay. I was busy doing other things, that's kind of why I took a break in the first place after the update, so it's whatever. I hope you understand, and without further ado, let's get started. Let's start off with Pokemon number 121, Starmie. Starmie is a Pokemon that resembles two violet starfish with 5 appendages each. The front starfish is the golden formation in the center. In the center of the golden casket is a red jewel core, which can glow in 7 colors and is developed to resemble a cut of precious stone. The second starfish is semi-attached to the back of the first and can spin 360 degrees. This rotational action is how Starmie swims through the ocean. It can also launch itself out of the water and fly through the air for short periods as needed in Pokemon Snap. Mr. Mime is a bipedal humanoid Pokemon. Blue growths resembling clown hair extend from the sides of its pale pink head. There is a magenta circle on each cheek. Its jaw is curved inward, resembling the mouth of a wooden dummy. It has round white body with magenta spot in the middle, light pink arms and legs that connect to its body via magenta spears, and small white coverings over its knees. Its white hands resemble gloves with magenta pads on the tips of its white fingers, and its dark blue feet curl up at the tips. Galarian Mr. Mime are mostly blue and white. Much like other Mr. Mimes, they also have blue growths resembling clown hair. However, they also extend to cover its cheeks. They have wider shaped eyes other than Mr. Mime, and they have a blue nose. Their bodies have a white top and a blue bottom, and they do have a diamond made that resembles a tie. Scyther is a bipedal insectoid Pokemon. It is primarily green with thin cream-colored sections between its head, thorax, and abdomen. The abdomen of a female will be slightly larger than that of a male. It has narrow eyes and 3 points on the back with somewhat reptilian head. Its forearms consist of large white scythes, which it used for hunting as well as fighting. On its sides are spikes of fur, and has 3 clawed toes on its large feet. 2 pairs of cream-colored wings extend from its back. While these wings do allow Scyther to fly, it rarely does so. Yay, we get to talk about Jinx. Jinx is a bipedal humanoid Pokemon that resembles a woman. It has a purple face, pink lips, saucer-like eyes, and large blonde hair. It wears a red gown with 2 large sockets on its chest. While the anime has shown it possesses feet, the 3D games only show blackness under the dress, and it lacks a footprint. While it has white arms and 5-fingered purple hands, Jinx is a female-only species with no male counterpart. Electabuzz is a slightly humanoid Pokemon with a few feline traits. It has an antenna with bulbous tips where its ears should be, 2 long tufts of fur on its head, small eyes, and 2 large fangs on its upper jaw. It is covered in yellow fur with many black stripes. There is a large lightning bolt-shaped stripe on its chest, a V-shaped stripe on its forehead, and 1 stripe on its side, a thick stripe down its back, 2 bangs on each leg, several broken bands of each arm, and many rings around its long tail. There are 3 clawed toes on each of its feet, 2 in the front and 1 on the back, and 5 fingers in each hand. Magmar is a bipedal Pokemon that has a red body with yellow flame designs along the bottom half. It has a puckered yellow beak, small eyes, and 2 lumps on its forehead with a yellow flame on top of each one. Rigid red scale covers its arms and it has 5 clawed fingers on each hand. Its shoulders or thighs are yellow. Its feet have 2 clawed toes on each. It has black metal shackles around its neck and ankles. Down its back is a row of red spikes, and there is a flame at the tip of its tapering yellow tail. Pincer is a bipedal insectoid Pokemon with a wide, dull brown body divided in segments by thin lines. On top of its head is a large pair of gray, spiky pincers on top of its head. In its mouth are many long, flat teeth arranged horizontally and has triangular eyes. Its legs are short and thick, while its arms are long and thin. It has 3 claws on each hand and foot, 2 of its toes face forward and 1 backwards. It also has a Mega Evolved form that you can get with the Pincerite. Tauros is a quadruped bovine Pokemon. It is covered in light brown fur with a thick, darker brown mane around the neck. It has a round muzzle with dark brown nose, small triangular eyes, 3 gray bumps running vertically down its forehead, and a pair of curved gray horns growing from the top of its head. Each of its 3 black tails has a tuft of fur on the end, and there's a slight single gray hoof of each foot. Tauros is a male-only species with no female counterpart, and is considered to be the counterpart of Miltank. Magikarp is a fish with large, heavy, reddish-orange scales. It has large, vacant eyes and pink lips. Its pectoral and tail fins are white. On its back, stiff 3 yellow-pink fins. There's an identical fin on its underside. It also has long barbels. The barbels are white on a female and tan on a male. A long-limbed Magikarp is able to utilize its immense splashing power to leap high enough to scale mountains. It also has a strong immune system to survive in the most polluted of waters. However, it's usually overlooked by trainers because of its perceived weakness. Gyarados is a serpentine Pokemon with a long body covered in slightly overlapping scales. It is mostly blue with a yellow underbelly and a row of yellow spots down each side. Its mouth is very long and gapping, bearing 4 pointed teeth and yellow lips. It has 1 barbel and a small white fin on each side of its face. The barbels are white on a female and tan on a male. It has small red eyes and a 3-pointed dark blue chest on its head, the 4 white spiky dorsal fins as well. Ganondorf's tail fin is similar in structure to the crest of its head, except with a thin white fin spread between the points. It also has a Mega Evolved form that you can get with the Gyarados. Lapras is a large sea Pokemon that resembles a plesiosaur. It has a blue hide with darker blue spots on a cream-colored underside. It has large brown eyes and a short horn on its forehead and tightly curled ears. It has a long neck and 4 flippers. The foremost flippers are larger than the hide. On its back is a heavy gray shell covered in blue knobs. It likes to, take around Pokemon on its back as well. And it also has a Gigantamax form that you can get by Gigantamaxing. In its natural state, Ditto is a light purple or pink amorphous Pokemon with vestigial facial features. The face consists of a simple mouth and beady eyes. It also has appeared to have 2 spudopods protruding from its body that it uses as arms. It is capable of transforming into an exact replica of any physical object, including its form and abilities. However, if Ditto tries to transform into something based on its memory, it may get some of the details wrong. Eevee is a mammalian quadruped Pokemon with primarily brown fur. The tip of its bushy tail and its large furry collar are cream-colored. It has short, slender legs with 3 small toes and a pink paw pad on each foot. Eevee has brown eyes, long horned ears with dark brown interiors, and a small black nose. Eevee is rarely found in the wild, mostly only found in cities and towns. However, Eevee is said to have an irregularly shaped genetic structure that is easily influenced by its environment. This allows it to adapt to a variety of habitats by evolving. Eevee is the only known Pokemon capable of using the exclusive Z-move, Extreme Evo Boost. It has a lot of evolutions that I'm showing on screen right now, so I'll have you take a look at that for a few seconds. And it also has a Gigantamax form that you can of course get by Gigantamaxing. Vaporeon is a Pokemon that shares physical traits with both aquatic and land animals. Vaporeon's body is light with a dark blue marking around its head and a spiky ridge down its spine. It has black eyes and a tiny black nose. There's a white fin encircling its neck and 3 fins with cream-colored webbing on its head. One of these fins is each side of its head similar to ears, and one is directly on top of its head, similar to the appearance of a dorsal fin. Vaporeon is a quadruped with 3 small toes on each foot and dark blue paws on the hind feet. Jolteon is a quadruped mammalian Pokemon. It is covered in yellow fur with a spiky fringe around its tail and a white ruff around its neck. Its ears are large and pointed with black interiors, and its eyes and small nose are black. It has slender legs and small paws, each with 3 toes and a pink paw pad. Jolteon's prickly fur is made of electricity-charged needles and generates negatively charged ions, which create a sparkling noise as it moves. It also has an electricity generating organ in its lungs. The static electricity in its fur amplifies the low level of electricity generated by its cells and allows it to discharge 10,000 volt lightning bolts. Flareon is a mammalian quadruped Pokemon covered in short reddish-orange fur. It has long ears with black interior, dark eyes, and small black nose. There are 3 small toes and a yellow paw pad on each foot. Fluffy yellow forms at a small top on its head, as well as a bushy tail and a mane around its chest and neck. It will fluff out its collar to cool down its high body temperature. This high temperature is caused by its internal flame sac. Flareon stores its heat inhaled in its sac, and it excels as a spire. It is an omnivore that roasts either berries or prey for consumption. Porygon is a Pokemon made completely out of programming code. It is a pink body with a blue front, blue triangular prism feet, and a blue rectangular prism tail. It is a pink head that ends in a blue beak, and it has hexagonal eyes. In the 3D games such as Pokemon Stadium, it can detach its limbs and head from its torso. According to the Pokedex entries, it is a copy of protection built into the code, preventing duplication through electronic means. It was created 20 years ago at the Pokemon Lab on Cinnabar Island using the latest technology at the time, so many of the parts have been since become obsolete. Lord Helix himself is a small Pokemon similar to an Ammonite. It is a small blue body with 10 tentacles and pale yellow helix spiral shell on its back. The shell's rim has 2 circular indents where Ammonite's large saucer-like eyes protrude. If attacked or threatened, it quickly withdraws into its hard shell. Ammonite is considered extinct, although it can be derived from fossils. Its fossil has been excavated in areas that were once oceans long ago. Ammonite regulates buoyancy by storing and releasing air within its shell and controlling direction by twisting its tentacles. Omastar is a Pokemon similar to an Ammonite. Its sky blue body has several tentacles. The tentacles toward the front are shorter and thicker than those in the back. There's a pale yellow helix spiral shell on its back. Several sharp spikes line the shell's midsection from the front on about halfway down its back. The shell's rim has 2 circular indents where Omastar's eyes are visible. It has eyes like yellow scalery and vertically split pupils. It has an oval mouth with 4-sectioned fang-like beak. Kabuto is a small Pokemon resembling a horseshoe crab. It is mostly flat with a protected brown shell covering its body. There are 2 small black eyes on top of its shell, which it uses for sight when it hides on the ocean floor. Underneath the shell is a black space that hides the structure of its main body. Only its 4 short yellow legs and a second pair of luminescent red eyes are visible on the other side. In its original time, Kabuto was prominently found on beaches, likely aided by its fast and powerful swimming ability. While it is commonly believed to be extinct, isolated populations of Kabuto has been found to be unchanged for 300 million years. Gyarados is a bipedal Pokemon with a skeletal build. It has a flat half-circular head with a point on each side and two small eyes on the front. It is mostly brown except for its light gray crest and abdomen. There is a ridge down its back with three flat spines on either side and has a flat pointed tail. Instead of hands, its forearms have large sharp gray scythes. Its thin legs are brown lead to small feet with two large gray claws. Before it went extinct, Gyarados was in the process of evolving to a land dweller, and it was evident by its changes in gills and legs. Aerodactyl is a reptilian bipedal Pokemon with large membranous wings. It has small sharply pointed ears, narrow eyes, a rigid snout with gaping mouth, and strong lower jaw full of serrated fangs. Its body is covered in light purplish gray skin with violent wing membranes. Aerodactyl's wings consist of a membrane running from the side of its body to the tip of an elongated finger. The clawed hands at the bend of each wing allow it to grasp objects. There is a hump-like ridge with a single spike on its back and has a strong tail with an arrow-shaped tip. Its talon-like feet have two toes in the front and one in the back and are capable of scooping up tightly, clutching its prey in fight. It also has a Mega Evolved form that you can get with the Aerodactylite. Snorlax is a huge bipedal dark blue-green Pokemon with a cream-colored face, belly, and feet. Its body is compressed to mostly of its belly, and its limbs are comparatively small. Its head is large with small pointed ears and two pointed teeth protruding from its lower jaw. It has round feet which both have three claws and a circular brown paw pad and short arms with 5 claws in each hand. Snorlax's bulk makes it the heaviest normal type Pokemon. Snorlax is often found in mountains and forests. It wakes up only to eat, requiring 900 pounds of food per day before returning to its slumber. It is not a picky eater, as its strong stomach allows it to even eat moldy food without feeling any ill effects. It even has a Gigantamax form that you can get by Gigantamaxing. Articuno is a large avian Pokemon with predominantly blue plumage and wings said to be made of ice. On its forehead is a crest that consists of 3 darker blue rhombus-shaped feathers. It has circular red eyes, a short gray beak, and long 3 gray legs. Each foot has 3 forward-facing toes and one that faces backwards. On its chest is a mass pale blue downy feathers. Its long streamer-like tail is longer than its body and the same shade of blue as its crest. Articuno, when flaps its wings, it can chill the moisture of the air around it, making snow fall. Zapdos is a large avian Pokemon with predominantly yellow plumage. It has a small triangular eyes with black around them and a long, thin, light orange beak. Its wings and tail are a mass of spiky feathers, and there are 3 black feathers coming in the back of its wings and inner tail feathers. A large crest with spiked feathers surround its head. Its thighs are tan and it has thin, light orange legs. It has feet with 3 forward-facing toes and 1 backward-facing toe. Each toe has a short talon. When Zapdos flaps its glittering wings, it can potentially cause thunderstorms as well. And Moltres is a large avian Pokemon with a golden plumage. It has a long flowing head crest and a billowing tail, both made of reddish orange and yellow flames. Additionally, its wings are also shrouded in fiery plumage. It has a long, thin neck, pointed brown beak, and small triangular eyes. Its thin brown legs have feet that have 3 forward-facing toes and 1 backward-facing toe. It has short talons as well. Moltres sheds embers with every flap of its wings, creating a brilliant flash of flames. Dratini is a serpentine Pokemon with a blue body and a white underside. It has white 3-pronged fangs on each side of its head and a white bump on its forehead. Above its round white snout are oval pupil eyes. Dratini's life as energy is consistently building, so it's always growing and it can reach lengths of over 6 feet. As it grows, it sheds its skin regularly and hides behind a rapid waterfall during the process. Although this Pokemon was originally thought to be nothing more than a myth, a small colony has been found living underwater. It stays near the bottom and feeds on food that sinks from upper levels. In the past, Outrage was its signature move. Dragonair is a long serpentine Pokemon with sky blue scales and a white underside. It has a rounded snout, oval purple eyes, and a small white horn on its forehead. On each side of its head is a small stylized wing which is white and curves into a swirl at the base. 3 blue crystal orbs adorn its body, 1 on its neck and 2 on its tail. Dragonair emits a gentle aura that gives it a mystical appearance. As seen in the anime, it can make wings grow larger but in order to fly, but otherwise moves in the air unaided. Dragonite is a draconic bipedal Pokemon with light orange skin. It has large grayish-green eyes and a round snout with small nostrils. A pair of long, thin antennae sprout from the top of its head with small horns set between them. Its striated underbelly is cream-colored and extends from its neck to the tip of its long, tapering tail. It has thick arms and legs ending in 3 claws each. The leg joints are well-defined, while its arms have a smooth, rounded appearance. Dragonite's wings are small relative to its body with teal wing membranes. Finally, we have Mewtwo. Mewtwo is a Pokemon created by science. It is a bipedal humanoid creature with some feline features. It is primarily gray with a long purple tail. On top of its head are 2 short, blunt horns and has purple eyes. A tube extends from the back of its skull to the top of its spine, bypassing its neck. It has a defined crest and shoulders which resembles a breastplate. The 3 digits on each hand and foot have spherical tips. Its tail is thick at the base but thins before ending in a small bulb. It also has 2 Mega Evolved forms that you can get with the Mewtwo X and the Mewtwo Y. But that's going to do it for this video though, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. And in the next episode, we're going to be taking a look at the 2nd generation of Pokemon with Pokemon number 150 to 180. I guess we still have Mew to do, but it's basically the start of Gen 2. So I'll see you guys then.